Brought to you by EnterSwitch, a readily complex transaction solutions you can depend on.
Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. This is Business Express. It's a Tech Friday edition of the show, and we're always very excited when Fridays come rolling around. It's Zibby here, and as always, we love it when you're a part of the conversation. So let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981. And don't forget, we're streaming live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So it's Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can catch the live stream and post a comment on there. Look who's in. It's Rotus, and he's well, happy, and strong.
Good morning, Zibby. Good morning, everybody out there. Yeah, good to be with you all. Yes, I'm very happy that the weekend is here. So let's celebrate. We also got a couple of guests with us for this edition of Tech Friday. Adedeji Owonibi, who is the founder and chief operating officer of Convexity, and then we also got Charles Okaformbah, co-founder and chief technology officer (CTO) of Convexity, and there they are waving to the cameras. So very practical conversation I want to have today. They say that they've got the blockchain tech that can solve palliative distribution in Nigeria. That is if and when the government comes around to distributing these palliatives. Ogun State is already getting ready to do it. Edo State is getting ready to do it. So, Adedeji, let me start with you. If Edo State or Ogun State will say, okay, Convexity, come and help us distribute these palliatives, how are you going to do it?
Great. That's what we look out for. Because transparency is key in this process. This trust deficit. People not too sure if, of course, we're in this country 2020 during COVID, where everyone is saying, "Oh, we shared palliative," or "this palliative is not shared; is hidden somewhere," and that is just shrouded in secrecy. And so we believe that with a new technology that engenders transparency, the government will now engage properly and that transparently tell the citizen we're doing this, and they can verify that this distribution actually goes to the parties mentioned in the process. So for us, it's great. We have crossed the T's, we have dotted the I's, and we are also riding on this transparent technology to make sure that the doubt within the citizenry is curtailed using this blockchain technology. So call it chat.cash.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just an acronym: Convexity Humanitarian Aid Transfer Solution, riding on the backbone of blockchain technology.
Okay, Charles. So there's an issue of the register, the or registry rather, which the government has says is not credible. The social register. How do you integrate to identify and know who the money goes to?
All right. So what we built, the register is actually a valid register based on the organization or the agency that actually worked on it. So what we did with our own solution is we created a system whereby you can actually integrate both together. So you have the register on one hand that can be easily integrated to our own solution, and those that have been onboarded via the National Social Register can also be seen on our own platform. And then as the palliatives are being given out to the beneficiaries, you have that record also on our platform itself. So majorly our platform act as the pipeline where the records of those that are meant to get these palliatives are being kept and stored. And then you can easily see who gets what and what they are getting, when they get it, and all that.
What about people in? I think most of the folks who are going to be on this register are going to be in rural areas. So how do we solve for that?
All right, great. So what we also did was we looked at all this, right? We looked at the literacy level when it comes to tech. We looked at the people that these things are meant to get to. So we devised several channels where they can get this. So we made provision for offline situation, right? Where the vendors itself and the beneficiaries can easily still interact. And then one of the channels we actually advise that organizations and the government can use is what we call a paper voucher,
Okay.
right? So that paper voucher is like a wallet, and it has QR code on
Okay.
it. So with that now, the beneficiaries can take that to a vendor, an appointed vendor actually, and then it is scanned and the process of transaction takes place. Then we also made provisions for feature phones, that they can get SMS voucher.
Okay.
And that SMS voucher, they also take it to the vendor, and then they make their purchase. One distinct thing about the solution is that we move the reward system, right? It's not the beneficiaries don't get the rewards based on the voucher. The voucher is more of like a representation of the reward. So when they get to the vendor gives out what he or she is meant to give, and after doing that, that is when the vendor himself gets to now receive what is backing that voucher. It can be cash, right? So the vendor doesn't get the money per se, or they don't give the money to the vendor and say, okay, take this 1 billion, go and get bags of rice, and then go and give beneficiaries.
Okay.
You don't know if that vendor will do that or not. He
Yes.
might decide to go buy 100 bags
We
of
saw it
rice.
happen now.
Exactly,
When
and all that.
Palliatives never reached anybody.
Yeah. So we moved that the reward system down to when this execution has happened, when the beneficiary has gotten what they are meant to get.
So after they scan the QR code
Yes.
from that particular appointed vendor,
Yes.
and that's where the move is made.
Exactly. So the
Yeah.
vendor can choose to, okay, I need my funds now.
So Adedeji, is this open to is this open to government, private sector? Is this an open system?
Yeah, it is an open system. So we actually built it in response to a newspaper publication we saw in the UK, Daily Mail, and it was talking negatively about Nigeria. And what the column wrote that Nigeria is a country so corrupt that it is better you burn your aid money than give it to us. And we,
when was this article written?
Yeah, it's actually one of the articles I archived, and I'm going
Wow.
to send it to you to
Wow.
see.
Wow.
For us, the motivation that look, as a country, we are all Nigeria, we are government, we are the people, and the representation of our country matters to us. And we went to our lab to design out this. And we're great that internationally the United Nations felt this is great, and this is going to change the dynamics of aid distribution across Africa, and going to engender transparency that was lacking by the donors that are not sure if that money actually gets there. And that's the same fear the citizens hold, that anything distribution is just to cronies, and it's not going to be transparently, getting to the vulnerable that is meant to be. And so we ticked all the dots across the value chain, from the donor or the agency like the government, and that's why it's open to government and everyone, to the beneficiaries. And in this beneficiary, like Charles did alluded to, we look at every facet. I remember the Senate, when the issue of distribution came up, they were like, we're not digitally literate.
Yeah.
And for that, how many people we actually operate wallet? And so they spoke in their understanding that the wallet has to be with mobile phone and all those normal wallet that we are very familiar with. And so we created over 4 types of wallet. That is the mobile phone, the feature phone, like you did mention. And we also created a NFC enabled card that can work with our telecommunication infrastructure. Believing that where this poor and vulnerable will be, there may not be network, and they don't even know how to operate all this voltage. Just hand over this cards to them, and this cards can work without network, and therefore they can go to any appointed vendor. And when we say vendor, it can be food voucher you're distributing. They can go eat. Like in my office, for example, the staff go to eat in the afternoon. Nobody asks for money, because the vendor, when they eat, that's when the vendor just click a button and to request payment. And transparently, that payment goes, but we only pay for those that eat. So the same way, if you have used that for our subsidy, for example, so the consumption is going to be direct. So if you fuel at the filling station, then the subsidy can go on. A lot of things like that. So food voucher, subsidy, payment, all those are things we have captured around. And we'll be very glad to work with the government, to work with authorities that needed to actually distribute this transparently and also follow the money, if you like.
Okay, speaking of follow the money, so what about the safety of the data against manipulation and anything like that, Charles?
Yeah, so that's good. What we presently do, also we are NDPR compliant, right? So we recently even did the certification. So the data are private, the data are secured. We built also an onboarding system, despite the fact that the government already has a national social register.
Good. Thank you. Actually, you preempted my next question. Okay, fine. Well, go ahead. I was gonna go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we built an onboarding system too. and we call it it's a system that helps with proof of personhood, right? For us to be able to identify who these persons are, or if this person is a real human.
So if Zibby comes to sign up, you're making sure that that's Zibby. That is
yes, that's Zibby. That Zibby is a human being.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we built what we call a liveness check. It checks that okay, you are a human. It checks your facial expression, eye blinking, and all that. And then we also have different forms of KYC.
Yeah.
So it can be via the NIN. We integrated the national identity system into it. We also integrated a system whereby your iris, right, can actually be used to identify you.
So you have to
right?
pluck my eye if you want to use this system.
Just can, right? So we made scenarios for we made available any scenario that can play out. So you can choose which solution you want to make use of to identify the beneficiaries in the system.
Okay.
Then back to the data itself. Yes, the data are secure. Even technical, I don't want to go to technical.
I got you.
Unrest and on transit, right? We ensure that those data are secure wherever we are actually storing them. And then we are riding on the back of blockchain too, right? It's the transaction or the records are also placed on the blockchain. So those that need access can actually have it. So and there's another feature we built which is more of like there's a public view. If you want to create that transparency, there's a public view of some programs. Let's say the government wants to I don't know how far the government wants to go when it comes to transparency. The people can say, okay, let's go see how many people have actually gotten palliative, their regions and all that.
So you can see who have
but their personal informations are not displayed, but you know, okay, these are the locations where these things are being distributed. Sorry. Okay. So we also built something around that. We call it geofencing, right? So if the government wants, because one thing about this palliative distribution, you can have maybe a bag of rice that is meant to go to Lagos. The next day you see it in Abuja. Yeah. So one thing we also built was a palliative can actually be geofenced.
Yeah.
So those that are meant to get that palliative in that region, right? That voucher cannot work elsewhere.
Ooh.
Only just secluded.
Okay.
Right? So if you decide to let's take these things that are meant for these people to another location, then it doesn't work.
We're out of time. Gosh. What's your good you could say?
Let's see. Okay, this is from Raman, and he says, with this innovation, the era of using palliatives as souvenirs at Owonibi is over. The question is, will the government or the cronies allow this to breathe? And Ogene Ochuku says, wonderful guys, this palliative beavers machine. Indeed, technology can checkmate crime. Can this system experience glitches?
Can it have any glitches? Is a glitch possible?
Yeah, so definitely it's tech, right? But we've tried to see as much as we can to reduce it. Even cloud infrastructure will tell you they will give you 99.9%.
Right, but there's still that point.
Yeah, so there's still that one point that you can have a glitch.
Look, guys. Any final words? We want to give you the last word because we're practically out of time. What does this mean for the nation? Quickly, 30 seconds.
So for us is that transparency.
Yeah.
For us is that we're ready for business. For us is that we're changing the narrative about burn your 8 bonnet and give to Nigeria because they are not transparent, and that is the gap we're stepping to bridge. And we're glad this is going international. I think UNICEF Innovation Office believe this is going to transform a lot of things within Africa, and they're supporting us in building this. We just felt as Nigerians, and this is a concern now, and the government should look in this direction and complain and be transparent and use the solution to actually build trust within citizens and its government.
Made in Nigeria for Nigerians, huh? How about that? Adedeji Owonibi, founder, CEO, Convexity, Charles Okaformbah, co-founder, CTO. Thanks for illuminating our minds, and hopefully government is listening. Thanks for the messages as well. Zibby?
All right, well, thank you for coming through. Brilliant innovation there. That's it for Business Express. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
Right.
We refuse to drop chat.cash. We forgot. But it's good.
Yeah, walking. Guys, thanks. So, you to be on YouTube a little later, yeah?